Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeevan Rao, and on behalf of L&T and my colleagues over here, Mr. Mohan Raj, Mr. Muthu, and my team, we would like to thank NHAI, especially the chairperson, Alka ma'am, for inviting us and giving us this particular platform to showcase our environment, health, and safety initiatives. So with this, I would like to start my presentation. As far as L&T is concerned, all of us are aware that infrastructure business we are into since a decade, and we have presence in more than 50 countries across. And if you see those iconic structure across, there is a inbuilt iconic structure which is there, where L&T has got a detailed engineering which has brought about this kind of a engineering marvel. And this you can see it from our multiple business units which are into these kind of projects, where we execute projects across the entire spectrum, especially in the infrastructure business. And we do it on a turnkey basis. And this is possible because of the engineering marvel which is there since a long decade, and we deliver from design to delivery. And this is the outcome which we see over here in the pictures, what you see, the iconic structure which is there. And as ma'am told in the morning, durable, sustainable asset for building up the nation. Yes, we are the partners in building up the nation, and we will continue doing so in building up our nation. And with NHAI, as the name suggests, Arteries of New India, well, definitely arteries is the one which supplies fresh blood across the body. And in order to supply fresh blood, the arteries needs to go to each and every part of India so that the fresh blood is supplied. So similarly, we will definitely partner with NHI in supplying these arteries across all the portions of India. Yeah. With this, we would like to now go and look into the various business of L&T. As I mentioned, we are into different independent companies like defense, building and factories, transportation infrastructure, heavy civil, water and effluent treatment plant, power, and heavy engineering. So these are the different sectors which we are having. And what we are going to now look upon is the transportation infrastructure activities or the business what we are into. And this particular picture what you see over here is related to the various projects which we have carried out. And as you see, India, the arterial roads, the Bharatmala project, we have been partnering with the government and bringing about this particular change as far as infrastructure is concerned. Since we are, construction market is the second largest after agriculture, and this becomes a second largest employer as far as India is concerned. And if you see, this is a market where the employers are very, very high, and there are a lot of unorganized sector. And with this, we are able to bring about a change and bring about this particular change with respect to delivering the infrastructures across India. Well, now, as far as the infrastructure is concerned, it comes with whether we are delivering the right kind of the delivery or not. And for that purpose, we need to have the right kind of skill set. And when it comes to skill set, definitely there are challenges. And if you see over here in these challenges which I have listed down, one of the challenges with respect to safety. Because that is one thing which calls about human, because it talks about human, when it comes to human life, there is no replacement to it. Once the human life is lost, everything is lost. The business can come again, but the human life doesn't come again. So it's very important that whatever projects which we are into, we are aware about what are those intrinsic safety related risks which are there in that particular project. So safety awareness plays a very, very important role in whatever projects which we do. And for that purpose, we need to have the right kind of skill set. And skill set is very important in whatever types of activity we do, whether it is road projects or bridge projects or any other infrastructure projects. Safety plays a very, very important role. And this, as far as construction industry is concerned, it is more of human intensive, and that's where the risk is much more high, because the human beings are exposed to this particular risk, and as the risks are very high, there are possibilities of accident. Not only that, the type of employment which is there in our kind of industry, they are very seasonal in nature, and as a result, what happens is there are seasonal employees who come in, do the work and go back. As a result, there are chances of the competency not getting retained continuously. And as a result, the inherent risk for the business is that there can be an accident which can be detrimental for the project as such. So for that purpose, of course, we have the regulations, but again, adherence to the regulations is another challenge. So I just listed out certain challenges which are there in this kind of industry, wherein operating and at the same time delivering to the customer and at the same time delivering safety, delivering the quality services with respect to to this kind of industry is a big challenge. But we didn't stop over there. We focused on specific area, and we focused on doing it right and doing it safely and doing it every day in a safe way. This sentence sounds very simple, but doing it right and doing it safely, it calls over a lot of back-end processes. And the concept of mission zero harm, which is there for us over here, that's very, very important, that the zero harm culture is there across till the last person who is there working at the site. So for that purpose, we are in the journey of imbibing the zero harm culture across all our sites, and for that purpose there are certain processes which we have identified where there is a no-go. Our project heads, our segment heads sitting over there, they are very, very clear when they are executing projects. No matter what it comes, human safety is the prime, and that's very, very important, and that's evident when we execute our projects, because we do it in a way which ensuring that human being is at the center, and all the processes are built in around the human safety. So for that purpose, we have set out a journey, and we want to reach at that particular summit where we are at excellence with respect to environment, health, and safety is concerned. We would like to view EHS not as a particular kind of an activity, but we would like to have EHS as a value proposition, not only for us, but also for the customers and the stakeholders. Because if we work safely, then definitely it will be a value add to our client, and also it will be a value add to our customer, because it involves that if the work is done in a safe way, there won't be any kind of business interruption. And if there is no business interruption, the whole project works out in a way, in the time-bound manner and without any incidents. So keeping that in mind, we are taking this particular concept in a very, very strong way, because as I mentioned, construction industry is an industry where, the number of fatalities, it amounts to, let's say, around, as per the British Safety Council study which was done, nearly 24% of the fatalities are contributed in the construction industry. And as far as India is concerned, nearly 38 fatalities are related to construction. And out of that, if you further analyze, fall from height, excavation, falling off walls, and scaffolding related are the key ones where are contributing to the fatalities. So we are very clear that what are those focus areas which we need to look at and build down processes so that the people are not really exposed to this kind of a risk when we are executing these kind of projects. So with this in mind, we set about various journeys, and for that purpose, the strategy which we adopted was the plan, do, check, and act. All of us are aware about it. Moment we are able to do any activity in a planned way, and whatever is planned is done in a planned way, and not only doing, but whatever we do, if it is checked, and then accordingly act. So this particular concept has brought about good result, and for environment, health and safety also, we have adapted this particular concept of PDCA, wherein which has brought about a good amount of results, and we are in a journey where, okay, we are not reached up there, but slowly we are able to address this particular concept in a systematic way. So let us look at what are those concepts which will go into the plan, do, check, and act. As far as the overall project life cycle, if you consider, the whole activity starts with the requirements. The requirements can be from the clients, the requirements coming from the requirements from NHAI while the tendering process. So all these requirements plays a very, very important role, because that's what is the expectations which the customer is looking at, and we need to deliver as per the expectations of the customer, wherein we are able to deliver it in a proper way. So first comes the requirement part, wherein this particular requirement we build it up in the tendering process, where the EHS elements are taken care right in the tendering process itself. May it be the type of projects, the profile of the site, the site may require maybe some kind of blasting or some kind of excavation. So these all risks are factored right at the tendering stage itself, so that those risks are factored while we are building up this particular tendering process. Then comes the process where the detailed planning is done, where the EHS elements are inbuilt into the planning process, where each and every elements which are being input from the tendering process is built into our whole planning process while we are setting up all the processes. And accordingly, the designs are also built up, taking into consideration the related risk which has been identified. So these are the elements where the EHS elements are also taken care at the design stage, and accordingly the right kind of people when it comes to recruitment. As I mentioned, competency is one element which is very, very important to do a particular job. So recruitment also, the EHS element is also taken into consideration as far as recruitment. And not only that, while we are procuring the services or we are procuring the material or placing order on the subcontractor, these EHS elements are also taken into consideration. The elements of EHS is built into our procurement process, where the subcontractor whom we are selecting are able to know our expectations and build up their credibility or their abilities accordingly. And over a period, I would like to share the subcontractor base which we have built over a period of time, as they have gone into a successful journey. And this has brought about not only results for us, but also to the subcontractors as well, who have been working with L&T. So this plays another important role, and then comes the stage wherein the project execution happens exactly. That's where the whatever has been planned in the tendering or whatever has been planned in the design stage, these aspects are built into the project execution stage, where the site kickoff meeting, the EHS elements are again reiterated to our subcontractor, so that the expectations are very clear, because at the end of the day, the customer needs to be very happy. And not only that, the delivery has to be there with right kind of the expectations from the client. And not only that, it comes without any injury to any person. So within this in mind, we go about executing this particular project, so that our project are executed with respect to the planned activity. And overall, once the execution happens, the handover happens, and overall, then the operation and maintenance activity is concerned. So I have given you a whole spectrum of how the EHS is built into the whole project life cycle. It's not that the EHS is only related to the project there, site itself, but it's there at the back end, so that the execution becomes very robust and the delivery is also good enough. As far as planning is concerned with respect to EHS, it's very, very important that we get the right kind of processes, we have the right kind of project-specific EHS plan in place, so that all the related risks are identified and all those things are mitigated in a way so that it doesn't pose any risk to this particular project. Not only that, environment also plays a very, very important role. So we have an environment management plan in place for each of these projects, which are identifying specific environment-related risks which are there, and accordingly mitigation plan is put in place so that in upfront it is well understood what are those safety, health, and environment-related risks. Not only that, the work method statements are prepared based on the key risks which are there, and accordingly, those are customized to those activities as far as the inputs are concerned. Hazard identification and risk assessment is a key part, because that's one thing where any activity, before it is implemented, a thorough hazard and risk assessment is done, because it's very important that all of us need to have a risk-based thinking so that each of these risks are identified and a proper mitigation plan is in place. So this is as far as the planning aspect is concerned. Next, going to the competency, as I mentioned, competency plays a very important role, the right man for the right job. Because if the right man for the right job is not there, then there is again a risk related to EHS. So for that purpose, we are looking this whole concept of competency development in a very holistic way. And what we have done is we have the Construction Skill Training Institute across India. We have 9 institutes across India where our main focus is to develop competency. Improve the availability of skilled workmen. As I mentioned, this is the second largest employment after agriculture. Here, the important is that the skill plays a very, very important role. As this is a bit of an unorganized sector, this plays a very important role as far as skill is concerned. So for that purpose, we have created an opportunity for the for the youth, so that they are able to avail this particular facility. The skilled workmen are undergoing different kinds of trade. There are around 25 different kinds of trades in construction, where these particular inputs are given in the Skill Competency Development Center, where trained and unemployed youth from the rural, they are given this particular inputs, and their skills are improved accordingly. Not only that, it improves the overall safety culture, the quality, as well as the production as far as productivity as far as skill development is concerned. Improve construction supervision and training is also another activity where this particular aspect plays a very important role. So overall, competency development is prepared keeping in mind the world-class construction quality for the workforce. So this is one area which we are very, very specific about, developing the right kind of competency, because at the end of the day, we always keep the client in the mind and see to it that the delivery is as per the requirements of the expectations of the client. So going further, not only that, we didn't stop over there. We also looked at how the EHS elements can be ingrained into our workforce. So for that purpose, we have utilized technology. We have the EHS golden rules which are there, and we have used augmented reality as far as this particular aspect is concerned, where the employees are given actual scenarios so that he gets a very immersive kind of feeling while they're working at site, may it be lockout, tug out, or working at height, or lifting is concerned. All these aspects are implemented or given the experience to the workforce, so that they are able to identify the risk. Instead of giving a normal pep talk, it becomes very, very easy for them to understand, because they are actually experiencing what they are supposed to do before they are actually supposed to do. So they are able to identify the risk and accordingly integrate those aspects in their normal workforce. Again, at the end of the day, why we are doing it? We are doing it because to create a safe work environment at all times, so that he is able to return to his family as he came in the morning. The basic idea is that the workforce, the workman comes to our site, and for us, we as employers, for us it's important that he goes back to his family as he came in the morning. And for that purpose, we see to it that all his ecosystem is made safe enough, and for that purpose, one of the elements which we are really looking at is how good is he with respect to his competency, and the whole ecosystem is built basis on that. Once having implemented, then the next step is the PDCA, which I showed you. The next step is to check whatever we planned, whatever we do, whether it is going in the right direction or not. So for that purpose, we need to have a proper, robust checking mechanism, and for that purpose, we have looked into the various environment, health and safety KPIs, wherein if you look at this particular triangle, it is divided into two parts. One is the lagging indicator, which is nothing but more of identifying how many fatalities you had, how many lost time injuries you had, how many first aid cases you had. So that's the top portion of the triangle. But the bottom portion of the triangle is the leading indicators. That means what is it we as an organization are doing before an incident happens. So that's more towards the proactiveness, and we are focusing more on the proactive aspect of EHS. We are capturing more number of unsafe acts and conditions, because that's where is the base of the triangle. And if you see over here, the base of the triangle, it talks, ideal typical triangle, it talks about 3 lakh unsafe act or conditions, any type of industry normally. So our target is to capture more number of unsafe act and unsafe conditions. And if you see, this particular triangle is just like a tent. And if you want to reduce fatality in any industry, it is just like a tent. And if you want to flatten the tent, what you do? You just pull the base of the tent. Pull the base of the tent across, automatically the tent falls down. So similarly, the concept over here is the same, wherein we want to reduce the fatality, we want to reduce the accident. For that purpose, we don't look at fatalities, but we look at the unsafe act and unsafe conditions. And that's where we are coming from, that we are encouraging more reporting of unsafe act and unsafe condition, near misses, so that this becomes a learning opportunity. Because an unsafe act and unsafe condition, if it is not addressed, it may convert itself into a near miss one day. And if that is ignored, then ultimately it will convert it into an accident, and one fine day it may convert itself into a fatality. So for that purpose, our strategy is very clear, that we are looking at the base of the triangle, that is, capture more unsafe act and unsafe conditions. This is one thing which we are encouraging across our project sites, and my colleagues sitting over here, Mr. Mohan Raj and his team, they are really implementing it across all our sites, so that this particular culture is imbibed across. The second aspect which we are looking at is how we are able to utilize digitalization. Because that is one element, how to use digitalization in EHS, and for that purpose, we are capturing the various KPI and doing a trend analysis, using analytics, using digital platform, so that the business unit heads are able to actually see what is the trend as far as EHS performance is concerned. Our BU head, Mr. R.K. Bansal, in his regular project review meeting, he monitors this particular KPIs during the project review, progress review meeting. Yeah, that's really, we have gone one step further, where during a project review meeting, progress review meeting, the first agenda is on safety, and the KPIs are really discussed threadbare based on this analytics, and we are actually able to see how we are able to identify what are those unsafe act and unsafe conditions, whether the trend is going up, whether the trend is going down. Not only that, also with respect to the equipments which we are using at site, plant and equipment plays a very important role as far as sites are concerned. The safety of the plant and equipment is very, very important. So we also identify what are those unsafe act and unsafe conditions related to plant and equipment, and we have a proper trend analysis with respect to how these plant and equipments play a very important role as far as safety is concerned. So with this very focused approach on the top management, and also from our regional segment heads, this particular topic is up there, and in a very focused area, we are able to address this particular aspect in a proper way. Not only that, coming to the health management part, because health of the employee is very, very important, because if the employee's health is not good, then the productivity goes, the person is not able to do the work properly. So the health management as a topic, we are looking at in a very holistic way. We are not only looking at our employees, but also their family members, but also the subcontractors' employees. So pan-India, we have around 12 community health centers across India. Also, we have 10 medical mobile vans wherein they go to sites and render these services. These interventions are through permanent healthcare centers as well as temporary health camps which are set up to provide healthcare services not only in metro cities but also in remote areas where access to the health facility becomes very, very difficult. Because our associates are not accessible, not having those access, so we render different types of camps across. We have different types of blood donation drive, health management camp, eye checkup camps. These are run across all our project sites so that all of them are taken care as far as health is concerned. And this also is a part of the zero harm culture, because harm in any way, whether it may be accident or may it be with respect to health, and harm is a harm. So for us, we see it in a very holistic way. Pandemic has been a very challenging, all of us have undergone this, and it was a real challenge for us to keep our business continuity. But all the team members played a very crucial role as far as pandemic is concerned. Along with the health management team and the project management team, we addressed this particular aspect in a situation where the severity, we could do it in a very low way, and we could do it in a proper controlled environment. As far as environment is concerned, yes, our journey for carbon and water neutrality is there. Our vision is very clear. We need a better world, and for that purpose, L&T will pursue eco-friendly growth, promoting a culture of sustainability, innovation, and thereby contribute towards a better world. So with this in mind, we have set up targets as far as carbon neutrality is concerned. By 2040, we are going to have carbon neutrality, and key focus areas also have been identified in the area of energy usage. For example, in our sites, may it be batching plant or hot mix plant, all the energy conservation measures are put in place so that the carbon footprints are taken care of. Renewable energy sources like use of solar energy is also encouraged at sites. Plantations, greenery is one of the aspects which is there. Whichever sites we are in, it is seen to it that the whole belt is made green. May it be visiting dignitaries or anybody visiting, a sapling is planted so that the whole site is made green at the end of the day, end of the project. Not only that, in the area of water neutrality, the target is 2035, wherein we again have identified 3 specific areas. That is, reduce specific water intensity, because there are certain operations which are very high water sensitive in area. So we have identified key areas or operations which consume a lot of water, and accordingly engineering methods are put in place so that the water consumptions are taken care of. Not only that, water reuse and recycling is also encouraged by setting up effluent treatment plants and sewage treatment plant, and wherever possible, the recycling concept is encouraged, and water conservation measures are taken care of so that we are able to achieve these 2 targets of carbon neutrality as well as the water neutrality. Well, the other aspect is how do we keep everyone motivated? So for that purpose, we have our internal mechanism of Life Award. Life Award is a scheme where each of the project sites are encouraged at the end of the year. What are those things which they have done in the area of environment, health and safety, which has brought about a good result, and the sites are awarded accordingly based on various criteria, which is very robust in place, and each of the sites, whoever is the winner, is given the platinum or the gold or the silver award, and that keeps every one of us motivated so that the project is executed in a safe way. Not only that, we are also looking at have various awards to our contributions, like the National Safety Awards or ROSPA Award, British Safety Council, or the Safe Man Hours received from the client. So this was in a brief, and with respect to the environment, health and safety management system, we are certified for the standard as far as ISO 14001 and 45001 is concerned. So this was in a nutshell as far as our initiative for environment, health and safety is concerned. Thank you very much. I hope I was in time. Thank you.